Alright, so I've gone ahead and closed and reopened whatever the heck this thing is, Unreal, so that I could get the HDRI backdrop in. So, I've also done some more with my lighting. You'll see that also it seems to have returned on my ground plane. And I actually just don't want that at all, so I'm just going to go ahead and figure out where in the name of sanity it is. I think they called it floor. Yes, I am just going to shamelessly delete the floor because nobody likes the floor. Delete. Cool. Alright, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw a random HDRI in. By default, it will come in with this random sort of green thing, and you can shift it to wherever you want it. In this case, I'm going to say cool grassy field right outside of our horrible metal kitchen from hell. You should be able, I've had issues for some reason importing new maps, but there you can definitely import assorted texture maps into this. The only thing, there's like two things I wanted to touch on real quick. You'll notice this behaves a little bit differently than Maya, where it actually puts this thing in this really weird cube, or like bubble thing. So if you get really far out to the side, it gets like super distorted. You can see all the crazy like textury grossness. Okay, yeah, so I mean you can see this is actually like the shape that it's put this box into. If we go ahead and focus on literally anything else in our scene, it's close to the origin. You'll see you look out and it actually looks pretty nice. And it's also nice because it has a sort of flattish ground plane by default, so if you have anything sort of, again, sort of like here, you can see towards the center of the scene, it's actually shadowing with the ground and intersecting with that. It's kind of nice, depending on what you need. Should you need to, you can grab this HDRI backdrop over here. And there are, so I didn't notice this for the longest time, but there's this weird little, like, thing here where it, like, has some other information on it. So there's this geometry tab, and if you are so inclined, you can switch this off of Envirodome to assorted other options. If you could make your own texture if you wanted a sphere or whatever, you just like put a sphere in. In that case, it would make more sense just to grab a sphere from here, do that. But you can actually map this onto whatever shape you want. In this case, honestly, for the heck of it, I'm going to put it on the countertops, because that feels reasonable. And in this case, this is actually, I put it on a torus before and that worked. I'm not entirely sure what the actual heck it's doing right now, but you can map this onto a bunch. Oh, I know what it's doing, because my countertops came in crooked, and the scale is really janky, and everything is chaos. So this is, in fact, just hit F, what am I doing? So this is, in fact, the countertop shape, which looks insane on so many levels. So I'm just going to hit this weird little yellow back button to reset this to the default. That'll bring me back to a dome, and that is honestly most of what I know about HDRIs at this point. Personally, I like just making stuff myself. I think it's easier. But if you need an HDRI, that's the basics of at least how to access the plugin, and from there you can sort of noodle out what you need from that. But anywho, so I've gone through, I guess, I'm gonna delete this, honestly, I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. So next video is gonna be a really basic bit about cameras, and then setting up and exporting your scene, and we may or may not do that in one video. We shall see. But anywho, so this is what I have for my lighting, by the way, based on the last video. It's brightened up the point light a little bit, and I think I don't even know. Oh, this is a directional light, which I am not using. I'm very bad with this outliner so far. And you can organize these by type, which is kind of nice. I just haven't quite figured out how that they actually... What? Ow. My computer is so hot right now. It's burning my legs. Cool. Alright, well that was probably a bad choice. Oh, fascinating. Interesting. So if you get rid of the sky... Ah, there's the weird physical sky... Oh, I wonder if this is actually the atmospheric fog. Hang on. It is! Okay, fascinating. So this is actually my atmospheric fog, which I'm still figuring out. I honestly don't super know what that is, but there are some things that you can do. I think this behaves a little bit like a physical sky in Maya, except it gives you a less terrible ground plane. So there's some stuff that you can do. Oh, okay, so I was playing with this before and I couldn't find it. So apparently if you delete that sky, this will give you some more effects with like the sort of background, like overall texture. That's quite nice. Okay, good to know where that is. Good. I have learned a thing while doing a video. Happens all the time, actually. But anywho, so I'm going to leave that, lighting, come back with camera stuff, then it'll be almost done.